In 1956, a radical concept called the Southdale Centre in Edina, Minnesota, emerged, forever altering the retail landscape. It was a massive sanctuary of modern shops, public art, and a climate-controlled sanctuary from the harsh Minnesota winters. The birth of the U.S. shopping mall, a cultural icon that would shape the very essence of America's suburban landscape. However, while the mall appears to be stuck in the past, modern shoppers have changed. Many malls are struggling to generate the amount of customers they once had, dealing with empty floors and neglect. What happened to those beloved spots that fueled our teenage escapades and family outings? What stories are hidden inside these fading consumer culture echoes, and what new tales are rising from their ruins? Get ready to rediscover the forgotten memories of your childhood, and if you're a baby boomer, prepare for a nostalgic trip back in time. Let's zoom in on one in particular, Hot Sam Pretzels. Born in a mall outside Detroit, Michigan in the groovy mid-1960s, Hot Sam's Pretzels, with their hot Bavarian-style goodness, quickly became a hit for those seeking a convenient and, more importantly, delicious quick bite. By the 1990s, Hot Sam's had blossomed into a whopping 175 locations. But here comes the twist. In 2005, the beloved cookie chain Mrs. Fields snagged this Pretzel Paradise. The once bustling Hot Sam restaurants transformed into the era of pretzel time. Now, if you're a fan of the show Stranger Things, you might have spotted Hot Sam's Pretzels stealing the spotlight alongside the fictional Scoops Ahoy in the food court. But if you think the Hot Sam Pretzels story was fascinating, what do you think of Harvest House cafeterias stepping up the game in the 1960s? Imagine luxurious spots in malls with leather seats, burgundy red carpets, brick finishings, and windows giving you a sneak peek of the bustling mall. It was the place for shoppers craving a legit restaurant experience. Fast forward to the 1990s, and both Harvest House cafeterias and Woolworth stores were fading away, but not before leaving their mark on the customer experience we know today. And now, hold on to your taste buds, because here comes Kenny Rogers Roasters, the fast food roasted chicken sensation that took flight in 1991. Founded by none other than country music legend Kenny Rogers. This joint had around 350 locations by the late 90s. But if you think this was the end of it, think again. Now comes the sweet scent of nostalgia with caramel corn. Originating about 50 years after the caramel corn invention in the 1920s, this brand set up shop in Wyoming before expanding to downtown storefronts. Riding the mall wave in the 80s, they sprouted over 200 locations across the U.S. Dairy Queen came knocking in the 80s, but as malls dimmed, so did the caramel corn lights. Today, you can still get your fix online or at their existing Nebraska locations. But if you think this was an interesting one, what do you think of the next chapter? Let's dive into the story of Morrison's Cafeteria, a 20s southeastern sensation. It offered 70-plus menu items in a unique cafeteria setup. Thriving through the Great Depression, Morrison's found its way into indoor malls, leaving a legacy that lives on through its restaurant group sibling, Ruby Tuesday. But if you think Morrison's Cafeteria was the only one making waves, you haven't heard about Orange Julius. This fruity favorite started almost a century ago in LA, blossoming to 400 locations in the 60s. Under Dairy Queen's wing in the 80s, standalone Orange Julius locations vanished in 2018. But fear not, you can still indulge in this treat at Dairy Queen locations. Fast forward to 1919 with Britling Cafeterias in Birmingham, Alabama. Not dominating food courts, these cafeterias set up shop in malls, winning hearts with their diverse menu. Sadly, the cafeteria curtain fell in the 80s, marking the end of an era. Now, sweeten the tale with Bressler's 33 flavors, born in '29. The 80s saw this ice cream haven gracing mall food courts, boasting over 400 stores. After a series of handoffs, the Bressler's brand vanished altogether, leaving dessert enthusiasts with cherished memories. But if you found these stories intriguing, what about China Coast, the casual Chinese spot attempting to conquer American mall food courts in 2007? Every 07 American mall had a casual Chinese restaurant, and General Mills tried its hand with China Coast. Popular briefly in the early 90s, it disappeared for good in 1995. And who could forget Pharrell's Ice Cream Parlor? Starting in '63, this American ice cream and sandwich chain rocked the early 1900s theme with 175 locations by 1975. Despite a revival attempt in 2008, most Farrells vanished by 1990, leaving behind the echoes of a bygone era. As malls transform, many restaurant favorites have ventured into freestanding locations. Chick-fil-A and Panda Express, born in the mall, now soar beyond its boundaries. The mall's evolution continues, but the cherished local favorites that once graced its halls linger in our memories.